Hey y'all, it's Lauren. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be repotting a few plants, so I figured you guys could just hang out and chit chat with me. I wanted to kind of give you a little bit more information about myself, so let's talk plants. Alright, so I have a couple of plants here that I have been propagating in water, so they're cuttings. I have this ruby Ficus elastica rubber plant, and as you can see, it's got some pretty decent roots growing in. It's been in water for probably, gosh, at least a month, if not more. But, I mean, it's had root buds for a while. I just wanted to give it a chance to grow some decent roots. And then I have this sedum right here. These are just some little branches that fell off of a bigger plant when I was repotting it. So you can see they've got some decent little roots growing too. And then my other plants are actually already rooted and in soil. I have this aglaonema here, and I'm sure it's getting very crowded in there in that little pot because it's been in there for a while also, probably 2 or 3 months at the most. And then I also have this Aescunanthus, the black pagoda lipstick plant, and it's been doing pretty good, so it's time for a new pot. So I already have my choices picked out. I have this box here just to catch all the soil, and then my soil here and my water. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'll just go with like the rooted cuttings first. I take this little pot out for my ruby plant, my rubber plant, my ruby plant, because of the pink. I figured it would match, but you can see there's no drainage hole here, and it's awfully big, or obviously big, awfully big, however you want to say it. So I actually went ahead and got some rocks. I'm going to put these in the bottom of the pot, and then I took a nursery pot and I trimmed off like the lip at the top because it wouldn't go all the way down into this because of the lip, but now that I've cut the lip off, it fits perfectly inside. So I'm going to plant the tree in this little nursery pot that I modified, and then I'm going to put the rocks in the bottom of here and then put this on top of that, so any water that leaks out or anything like that, when I water it, it will be sitting down in the rocks. It's not going to be sitting directly down in there. So this is my thought process anyways. I've used rocks. I actually use very small rocks, like fish tank rocks, in my soil sometimes, just to make it a little bit more airy for plants that really need that extra filtration, like cacti and succulents and stuff like that. Okay, so I think that'll work pretty well. So my soil mix over here is just it's the cactus and succulent mix. Who makes it? It's just the Miracle Grow version, and then I add extra perlite and orchid bark to it, so it's very airy, so it drains really well. I'm not an overwater or anything like that, but sometimes I feel like I water so much when I do water that it's just best to have that extra drainage. So I put most of the soil in the bottom already, and then now I'm just filling up the pot the rest of the way, and I kind of pack it down in there a little bit just so that it's sturdy for the plant, especially this one's just kind of like a stick with a whole bunch of leaves on there. So, potted up and ready to go in Little Miss Cutie vase, and I already have the rocks down in the bottom, so I'm pretty pleased with that. I think that will, let me get this, my pot's crooked of course. I think that will do this guy well. And so now, the little nursery pot's like crooked in here. That's okay. And now I'm going to give her some water. I'm always like super nervous when I take water rooted cuttings and plant them, because they're so used to having like excessive amounts of moisture, and now all of a sudden they're in this soil. So I like to keep them pretty damp for a couple of days just till they get used to being in soil. Some plants it doesn't bother too much, and I feel like this rubber plant, it'll probably be fine because they're pretty hardy. So there you go, there's my little ruby ficus elastica in her pot. It's so cute, I love it. So next I'm going to go with the sedum, and I actually have this for them because I figured it kind of will look like hair, and it's the same scenario. There's no drainage hole, but basically, like, see how the hole is a lot smaller than the whole container. So I actually got a really small nursery pot, and this will be fine for them for right now because they have such fine roots. They don't really have a huge root system yet. So this will be okay for now. It's not going to be able to stay like this forever, but so this will fit right down in there, and that way I don't have to worry about trying to fill up all that extra space with anything. And then having all that extra space will give a place for the water to go if it drains out of the bottom. So again with my soil, and it's filled almost all the way, and then I'll just place these guys inside, and I usually try to hold the plant in, you know, whatever kind of manner I want it to look once it's been potted up. And while I'm adding the soil, I try to hold the plant that way. Once I fill it in with soil, the soil will kind of hold it in place. So I guess while I'm doing this, I'll just talk a little bit more about myself, because I'm pretty new here, so I figured I'd just give everybody a little background. So obviously my name's Lauren, and I am a stay-at-home mom. I have 3 children, a 10-year-old girl, a 3-year-old boy, and a 1-year-old boy. Well, 10 and 3, they're almost 10 and 3. And I'm married, and my husband and I have been together, or we've been married for, it'll be 7 years this year. And obviously, I think I've mentioned before, I live in South Carolina, and I don't know if you can hear them, but the cicadas are going crazy today. I'm actually I have a nice little screened-in back porch that I do most of my plant stuff on. It's super awesome to have because I have more space for plants that can deal with like heat, you know, because it's very hot here. But they don't have to be in full sun either, so that's nice. And it gives me a place to do stuff. So yeah, I'm trying to think of the things I should tell you guys. This is not working like I thought it was going to either. I'll be 32 years old this year, and I'm actually originally from Oklahoma. Me and my mom and my siblings, we all moved out here in 1997, so we've been here for quite a while. My husband and I actually, the house that we bought is in the same neighborhood that I grew up in, so I've basically lived in this neighborhood since 1997. Trying to think of what all I should tell y'all. I mean, you know, I'm sure I don't have a huge following yet because I'm still so new, but hopefully once I do get some more subscribers, you guys will find this video and you'll be able to ask questions and whatnot. I feel like this is going to be a lot better now. Yeah, that's better. So, here's this one, and I'm going to water it, and once I water it, it will kind of help the soil like set a little bit more, and then the plants won't be wiggling around as much. But this is convenient that it's not filling up the entire little pot down there, because then I can just take these guys out and dump out if there's any excess water or anything. But there's that. Her crazy hair has been installed. And I'm sure as I start showing you more of my plants and stuff like that, you'll kind of realize I prefer terracotta for the most part with most plants, just because it kind of saves them from overwatering to an extent. I'm not an overwaterer, but you know, terracotta, it absorbs a lot of moisture, so you may have to water your plants a little bit more often than if you were to have them in something like a nursery pot or like a ceramic with a drainage hole or something like that. But I like it just because, you know, you can also see when it's a little bit wet, like if it has absorbed any moisture, because, you know, it gets darker. So you can tell when you've watered, so that you can be like, okay, yeah, I just watered that plant. I don't need to water it again. Because if you're like me, then you have an excessive amount of plants, and sometimes you forget, like, wait a minute, did I water that plant yesterday or whatever? So it's helpful for me, and because I'm a stay-at-home mom, I have a little bit more time to be able to keep an eye on my plants and to take care of them. So it's, even though I have like a really big number, I couldn't even tell you honestly, probably close to 200 plants, even though I have that many, I have a little bit more time to care for them, and I'm around them so much that, you know, I can tell when there's some kind of change happening with them. So I'll go ahead and do my little Chinese evergreen here, the Aglaonema. It's been doing really well, but it's probably overly ready for a new pot. So there's what was in there. So it's not too bad. It's not very root bound. I thought it would be, but this is a trimming from like a full-size plant. It's a big chunk of something in there. I think it's just like the outer, you see how it gets like that outer skin almost? I think it's that. I hope it's that. That's what I'm going to tell myself. So I have, let's do pets now. I'll have them in a video sometime soon. But we have actually quite a lot of animals. So we have 2 dogs, Barrett and Paisley, and Barrett is just like a mutt, and then Paisley is a Shih Tzu, and she's actually my daughter's dog. She got her from Santa one year. Barrett was just a rescue dog, but he's the best dog. You guys will see him. And then I have 3 betta fish, Lotus, Buddha, and Koi, and I'll show you guys them some other time too. They're harder to get videos of because, you know, they're fish in tanks. So there's that. I like the way that looks. Let me go ahead and water it a little bit. And then my daughter has a guinea pig. Her name's Flutter. And then I have some rats. I have 2 boys, Snack and Lucky, and then 2 girls, Pearl and Peach. And then my husband and we actually breed ball pythons. I know it's funny that I have rats and then snakes that eat rats, but obviously my pet rats are not food. Anyways, yeah, so my husband breeds, my husband and I mean, it's his thing, but I help him, breeds ball pythons, and right now we have 6, and we have a 7th one coming soon. And you know, I'll do a whole separate video on them because there's so many of them, it would take up a good bit of time. But we have an albino female. Her name is Mystique. And then we have what is she? She's a black-head lesser female. Her name is Juno. Then we have a yellow belly female named Venus. I think she's yellow belly something, actually. I don't think she's just yellow belly. I don't know. And then we have a piebald het albino, which I can explain some of that to you if you really want to know. It's just genetics. Piebald male, his name is Jack. And then we have, oh my gosh, there's so many. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I'm kind of ranting, or not ranting, I'm just kind of like rambling on about snakes, and y'all are probably like, don't really care about snakes, we only care about plants. So yeah, I guess I'll skip the rest of the snake stuff. If you want to see a snake video, just let me know, and if I get enough interest in it, then I will make a snake video. But obviously this channel is mostly going to be about plants, so that's what I'll try to stick to from now on. So yeah, I got into house plants actually fairly recently. Well, I say that. It's been probably like, I don't know, 6 months. I've had plants in the past, you know, but I've never really, like, they were just gifts or something like that. But my first plant that I would say was like my first plant, the one that really got me into houseplants, was I got a fiddle-leaf fig, actually, and his name is Figgy, and he is big and beautiful, and you know, he'll be in a video sometime soon. If you go over to my Instagram, I have a couple of pictures of him on there. So I made a mess of this one, but it's done. I'll clean the outside up. So I have about 200 houseplants now. I haven't counted in a while, but I'm assuming that's probably pretty close. And I also sell plants. You know, I have some sitting back here, but they're all over. I have a whole separate section for them down on the bottom part of my deck. But, yeah, I mean, that's the basics, I guess. As, you know, I post more videos, I'll definitely put more, like, personal info, like, not my social security number, sorry guys, but I'll definitely, you know, give you a little bit more information about myself and, like, my life and the things that are going on, because this is my life, so, minus my kids and my husband and family life and stuff like that, but, you know, majority of the things that I do kind of revolve around plants and selling plants and making macrame for my plants, and hence the name Crazy Plant Lady. Like, I think I fit the bill big time. So yeah, anyways, thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit. There's the Black Pagoda lipstick plant. I don't even know which Aglaonema this is. Chinese evergreen. I'm not sure which one that is, so I'll have to look that up. Or if you know, then you can give me a comment down below. That way you don't have to look. Then there's my little ruby Ficus elastica, and then this sedum. And I'm sorry, I don't know specifically what sedum this is. I just know I love it. I have the burgundy, like maroon colored one, and then I also have a purple one that's back here that's really cool. It's like dusty purple. I don't know if they're the same plant, and it's just depending on how much sun they get or not. Maybe this had more sun than the other one, because they look exactly the same besides their colors, but I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, thanks for hanging out. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys soon. Bye! Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can see all of my videos.